So how does using the Shazamme platform help you do your job better?
Yeah, so I find that having a, I think you may have described it once as like, it's like a Canva for websites, and I do find it to be quite the case actually. It's that drag and drop software, having an on-call tech support, knowing that at any point I can, you know, jump on a chat with someone and get a problem solved instantly. And I'm often working at strange hours of the night, and I can assure you I've had conversations with your team at different times of the morning and evening when we're trying to get, you know, things fixed and on deadlines, etc. I think being able to, the platform is just super user-friendly. So I have this confidence that even beyond my initial working relationship in maybe building a site or redeveloping a site for a client, that my clients will be in good hands beyond that if I'm not working with them at that point. So they, you know, I can give them that assurance that, you know, help is just a chat away. And so from that perspective, that makes me feel good. I think that what I really love is the ability to not be relying on developers and developers' fees. So often if you're building a site on other platforms, you are heavily reliant on someone else doing a lot of that. And that, you know, there's time delays, there's cost blowouts that happen. There's a lot that I can't always control for my client. And because I work as a project manager for my client and as a creative director for my client as well, I can get in and get my hands dirty, and I can actually fix a lot of the problems on the spot. Half the time I'm not even having to contact Shazamme because I've become so, you know, fluid in being able to use the platform. So there's lots of great AI. So over the years, I've even noted that I've been working with Shazamme, I've seen such improvement in even just, you know, new features being introduced, AI, pre-formatted pages, intuitive, you know, options for, you know, hey, would you like to create a page or a section that looks, you know, that lends itself to your website. I've been able to test out concepts live in a live setting, and that's been fantastic, because when I'm sitting with a client and I'm saying, do you want it like X or Y, we're changing things on the fly. So I think a lot of that creates a lot of time efficiency. Yeah, so I think knowing that I've got a reliable platform to fall back on and a reliable team to fall back on enables me to focus on what I do best, which is the project management, the creative development, the creative direction, branding, content development, etc. And I also have been loving the SEO, intuitive SEO option on the website too, because that's also accelerated work at the back end in making sure that it's, you know, a site that's optimized for SEO as well.
You mentioned a good point in regards to, and I think that this is something in the industry, sadly, everyone's, from a marketing standpoint, what I've seen over the many years is marketers will come in, they'll put things in place, and then if they're no longer there, it all just turns to rubbish.
Yeah.
So I do love what you just said. It's about, we look at the website, that's the foundation of your brand. It
Yes.
used to be bricks and mortar. Now it's a website.
Yeah.
But now it's so much more. And I think what you said is so important. People need to future-proof their brands. All the marketers that are helping agencies set up their marketing strategies for the future need to make sure that they're setting up something where a client can continue to be successful. Now, it might be a bit selfless, but
Yes.
you need to know that you can hand that over at any point in time, whether they've asked you to find a marketer to sit internally for them or whatever it is, but know with confidence you're not handing over a big pile of mess.
Yeah.
That they can literally take it over and be successful.
Yes.
Without your help, potentially.
Absolutely.
Is amazing.
And you make a good point, because often I am working with agency owners in that capacity where, you know, the engagement isn't indefinite. It's, you know, they've hired me for a reason. They have objectives. We define those at the outset of our relationship. And sometimes that objective is that we want to use you until we are in a position to hire someone in-house that, you know, we can justify it in-house, or where we've got enough momentum in the business, or we want to hire a junior, but we need you to coach them, and I'm often their mentor or their manager. So I become very much embedded in my clients' teams. So I think the best working relationships I have, I'm part of their leadership teams, and I'm coaching and mentoring and managing their junior marketing staff in those instances where they have one. So, you know, I sometimes think if I'm doing my job well, I'm getting them to a point where I kind of do make myself redundant in this capacity, in that I'm going on to do other projects for them as well. So, so I think that it's a really important thing for me to be able to do. And you know, my credibility is everything to me. So I need to be able to recommend partners, softwares, services, other suppliers to the industry with a level of confidence that, you know, I'm leaving them in good hands, and there's no self-motivation in this. So I often am finding myself saying to, you know, new client organisations, when we're looking at, you know, rebuilding a website or launching a website, I don't get paid by Shazamme to recommend, to recommend them. I'm like, I have to define that, because it's like, I will only be honest in a recommendation. I will only ever be honest in recommendation, you know, in saying use this product or service. And that goes for anyone that I'd recommend. So, yeah. So, yeah. And I've clearly 13 websites in, so I've recommended you a few times.
You know it pretty well.
Yeah.
So just very quickly, key advantages of the Shazamme platform that you see, and you've mentioned some of these, but what are the things that stand out to you if you were in a traditional capacity of being a marketer in a recruitment agencies? What is the things that straight away you go, this is a game changer, that's a game changer, or this is what's going to help us?
Yeah, okay. There's quite a few, I'd say. So I've mentioned the cost effectiveness. So I feel like specifically for, you know, small to mid-sized agencies, but also for larger ones, I don't work with them, but you know, it is a very cost effective option for a lot of agencies. It can be quite quick to market. So getting a website live doesn't have to be a very long process. So there's obviously steps and measures in place to ensure that happens, and that's where perhaps I add some value with some of that as well, in terms of, you know, if they're looking at a rebrand as well as a website launch. So the no developers I think is a great one. Like, you know, the amount of times I've seen businesses be really baffled by, oh, you know, that's a development cost and we've got to go off and do, you know, there's so much less of that. Yes, okay, there may be some limitations to what how far you can take that with a platform, but I think that I've definitely seen website projects blow out in a crazy way, because that little bell and whistle is, you know, just blowing up the project. So I think that with this, you know what you're getting, you know what you're paying for. There doesn't seem to be any surprises along the way. So that's been my experience to date. That ongoing tech support has, again, you know, when you're working on building a site, you're not always doing that within 9 to 5. And so to know that you've got that support on hand is fantastic. I think through the website build, having a dedicated project manager from the Shazamme team at your end certainly helps my client and me when I'm acting in their capacity as well, to keep that project moving and being fluid. The job board integrations, like, I think that's probably one that's a lot of people forget that, you know, yes, there are a lot of website developers out there and software, you know, website options, but a lot of them come unstuck at that point when they're going, oh, we've got to integrate a job board, and oh, how does that happen, and all the little glitches and delays that happen as a consequence of that. So I think that that's been really fluid with the Shazamme platform. Obviously, agencies are your focus, so yeah, so that's never an issue. Customization, just, you know, being able to customize every site, so and having, look, there's a range of templates that you can work with, and I often sort of take those and evolve those, or, you know, I'll tweak those, but they're so customizable and easily so that's a good thing. I think the constantly evolving nature of the platform has given me confidence that it's not just a set and forget platform as well. You know, I've seen evolution with AI and just you know, so I'm actually, there's a newsletter that comes out that tells you about these new features, which is always handy when I get time to read them. Yeah, I think that gives me and clients some level of confidence that it's not just a, you know, static platform. And I think then the SEO, the AI optimization tools are fantastic, because again, that's something that you don't always get with any website provider that you might go to. So for me, they are perhaps the most obvious ones for me that, I find benefit and benefit my clients.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing. I think it's interesting. We've seen, obviously, when we started Shazamme, we really said, how do we revolutionize the industry? And we started with a blank sheet of paper, really, to solve everything we knew was broken. And a lot of that had to do with ease of use. It had to do with support. It had to do with integrations. How can we make it quick, easy, cost effective, but also give the power back to the marketers to be able to bring any dream to life. And really, like with a lot of our ATSs, you can map any field, so you can parse a lot of data. But the point you made around web developers, and this is where we say, you know, let experts do what experts do, because you can go and start and build a website, and then you've built this beautiful, I always call it a billboard in the desert. You've built this beautiful brochure, but it doesn't work for recruitment. So then you're trying to make it work as a recruitment website. And there's a lot of people, I don't think, get the requirements. You've got job boards, you've got integrations, you've got candidate dashboards, job alerts, being able to share jobs on blogs, blogs on jobs if you want. Like the more thinking, as you know, with a website, the better it is. So it's exciting. I love seeing smart marketers take it to the next level, because really anything you dream up, you can bring to life.
Absolutely. I think your point about websites, you know, there are a lot of beautiful sites out there, but they are just brochures, digital brochures. And I think that that's where, you know, smart businesses need to think beyond that. They need them to be generating leads for them. They need them to be building engagement, creating community, building a relationship with their target audience, and becoming a source of truth for their target audience. So that's where I think the savviest recruitment businesses are digging deeper and making sure that those things they're going to be able to achieve, and not just be able to achieve them because everyone will say they can do it, but at what cost and within what timeframes is other questions. So there's a lot of questions that need to be asked by recruitment business owners when they're looking to build a site or choose a partner to build a site 100%, because like I said, anyone can create a beautiful site. It's all of the other stuff that comes with it that you need to be considering as well.